Toyota has one of the most loyal fan bases, and for good reason. These cars are known to run forever. But here's what most owners don't realize. Some of those same bulletproof engines fail early, not because of Toyota, but because of how they're maintained. Toyota builds a great engine. What you do next determines everything. In this video, we'll break down 10 Toyota-specific habits and mistakes that can make or destroy your engine based on real failures and real repair bills. If you own any Toyota gas model, this applies to you. Let's get into it. Tip 1. Stop trusting the 10,000-mile oil change interval. This is the single most important tip in this entire video. If you take nothing else away from the next 18 minutes, take this. Your Toyota's owner's manual recommends an oil change every 10,000 miles under normal driving conditions. That number is not a recommendation for engine longevity. That number is the minimum maintenance threshold required to keep your warranty valid. Here is what that distinction means in practice. Toyota's powertrain warranty covers your vehicle for a defined period, typically 5 years or 60,000 miles in the United States. The maintenance schedule was designed around one question: will this engine survive past the warranty window without a covered failure? If the engineering answer is yes, the interval gets approved. What happens to your engine at 130,000 miles, 160,000 miles, or 200,000 miles is not part of that calculation. Engine oil does not just get dirty, it gets chemically exhausted. Modern full synthetic oil contains a sophisticated package of additives, detergents that break down carbon deposits, dispersants that keep combustion byproducts suspended and away from metal surfaces, antioxidants that slow the breakdown of the oil itself under heat. These additives are consumed during engine operation. They don't regenerate. Once they're depleted, the oil is still slippery, but it has stopped protecting your engine the way it should. At 5,000 miles, a quality full synthetic still has strong additive life remaining. At 10,000 miles, the additive package in an average bulk synthetic, the kind most dealerships use, is significantly depleted. The oil is still in the engine, it just isn't doing its full job anymore. The result over years and tens of thousands of miles is a slow, invisible accumulation of varnish and sludge in the tightest, most critical areas of your engine. Areas no dipstick check and no oil analysis will ever reveal. The fix is simple. Change your oil every 5,000 miles or every 6 months, whichever milestone arrives first. No exceptions for highway driving, no exceptions for premium oil brands, no exceptions for "my car doesn't get many miles." The 6-month rule exists because oil degrades on a calendar too. Heat cycling, moisture absorption, and oxidation happen every time your engine warms up and cools down, regardless of how far you drove. This one habit, more than any other single thing you can do, is what separates a Toyota that reaches 350,000 miles from one that needs an engine at 180,000. Tip 2. Never assume the dealership is using quality oil. Most Toyota owners who service their vehicles at the dealership assume they're getting Toyota oil, or at minimum, a premium brand name synthetic. The Toyota logo is on the building. The technicians are Toyota certified. Surely the oil meets the same standard. In reality, dealerships purchase bulk engine oil from the most cost-effective supplier that meets the minimum certification requirements. Oil changes are among the lowest margin services a dealership performs. High volume, low profit. The economic pressure is always downward on oil quality. A budget full synthetic that carries the correct API certification and viscosity rating is technically compliant. It will protect your engine adequately for 5,000 miles. Whether it maintains adequate protection for 10,000 miles, especially in a high-heat, high-stress application like a daily commuter, is a different question that the certification label doesn't answer. The takeaway here is not that dealerships are being dishonest. They're operating within industry norms. The takeaway is that you cannot outsource your awareness of what's going into your engine. There are 2 ways to protect yourself. First, ask specifically which oil brand and product the dealership uses before you authorize any service. A service advisor who can't or won't answer that question clearly is a red flag. Second, supply your own oil. Many shops and dealerships will perform an oil change using customer-supplied oil for a reduced labor charge. Buy a quality synthetic from a brand you trust, hand it to the technician, and you know exactly what's in your engine. At 5,000-mile intervals, even a mid-range full synthetic from a reputable brand provides excellent protection. You do not need to buy the most expensive option on the shelf. Consistency of interval matters far more than premium pricing on the oil itself. Tip 3. Understand what your oil warning light actually means. There is a dangerous misconception among a significant portion of drivers about what the oil warning light means. Many people treat it like a maintenance reminder, a nudge to schedule a service sometime soon. It is not a reminder, it is an emergency. When the oil pressure warning light illuminates on your Toyota's dashboard, the symbol that looks like an old oil can, it means your engine is not receiving adequate oil pressure at that moment. Metal surfaces that depend on an oil film to prevent direct contact are potentially running against each other right now. Every second that engine runs with that light on, damage is occurring. The correct response is not to drive to the nearest oil change shop. The correct response is to find a safe place to stop, shut the engine off, and check the oil level immediately. If the oil is critically low, do not restart the engine until oil has been added. If the oil level appears normal and the light remains on, the vehicle needs to be towed, not driven, to a shop for diagnosis. A seized engine from oil starvation can happen in minutes. The repair cost for oil starvation damage makes a routine engine rebuild look affordable by comparison. Separately from the pressure warning, Toyota vehicles also have a maintenance reminder light that illuminates at 5,000-mile intervals. This is different from the pressure warning. This reminder light is your cue to service the vehicle, and notably, it comes on at 5,000 miles regardless of what the owner's manual says about 10,000-mile intervals. Pay attention to that detail. Develop the habit of checking your oil level every time you stop for fuel. It takes 30 seconds. A dipstick check is the single fastest way to catch a developing oil consumption problem before it becomes a catastrophic one. Tip 4. Learn what oil consumption is telling you. Some degree of oil consumption is normal in any gasoline engine. Toyota's own specifications acknowledge this. A small amount of oil being burned during normal engine operation is not a crisis. But oil consumption exists on a spectrum, and understanding where your engine sits on that spectrum and whether it's moving in the wrong direction is critical information. If your Toyota is consuming approximately 1 quart of oil every 1,000 miles, that is a signal worth paying attention to. It is not necessarily the end of the engine, but it is the engine telling you something is changing internally. Piston rings may be losing their sealing efficiency. Valve guide seals may be beginning to deteriorate. These are manageable conditions if addressed at this stage. If consumption has escalated to 2 or 3 quarts per 1,000 miles, the situation is more serious. At this level of consumption, the catalytic converter is also under threat. Oil that burns in the combustion chamber leaves deposits that can clog and eventually destroy a catalytic converter, adding thousands more to your repair costs. The critical mistake most owners make is accepting consumption as a permanent condition and simply topping off the oil between changes. Topping off manages the symptom. It does nothing about the cause. And the cause, whether it's worn rings, deteriorated valve seals, or early cylinder wall damage, will continue to progress. If your Toyota is consuming oil at a noticeable rate, take it to an independent shop for a bore scope inspection. A small camera fed through the spark plug hole can show the actual condition of the cylinder walls and piston crowns without any disassembly. This is a relatively inexpensive diagnostic step that gives you real information about what's happening inside your engine rather than guessing from the outside. Early detection at the 1 quart per 1,000 stage is manageable. Waiting until you're at 3 quarts per 1,000 often means the window for inexpensive intervention has already closed. Tip 5. Never neglect your PCV valve and oil separator. This is a maintenance item that almost nobody talks about, and almost nobody does, but it has a direct connection to oil consumption and internal engine health. The positive crankcase ventilation valve, the PCV valve, is a small, inexpensive component that manages the pressure inside your engine's crankcase. As your engine operates, combustion gases inevitably leak past the piston rings and enter the crankcase. The PCV system routes these gases back through the intake manifold to be burned, rather than allowing them to pressurize the crankcase or vent to atmosphere. When the PCV valve sticks or fails, crankcase pressure builds. That elevated pressure pushes oil into places it shouldn't go, past valve seals, through the intake system, into areas that cause oil consumption and deposit buildup throughout the engine. A failed PCV valve can cause or accelerate exactly the kind of oil burning symptoms we discussed in the previous tip. On Toyota engines, there is also an oil separator, sometimes called an oil catch or separator baffle, that works alongside the PCV system to prevent oil mist from entering the intake. On higher mileage engines, this separator can become saturated with oil deposits and lose effectiveness. Both the PCV valve and the oil separator are inexpensive to replace. Neither is typically listed as a scheduled maintenance item in the owner's manual. Both should be inspected and replaced proactively. The PCV valve around every 60,000 miles is a reasonable interval, and anytime you're doing significant engine work, these components should come out automatically. Your Toyota dealer will almost certainly not bring this up at a routine service. You need to ask. Tip 6. Don't fall for the lifetime fluid myth. The automotive industry has spent considerable effort over the past 2 decades marketing the concept of lifetime fluids. Lifetime transmission fluid, lifetime coolant, lifetime differential fluid. The marketing message is maintenance-free ownership. The mechanical reality is significantly different. Transmission fluid on Toyota vehicles, particularly the sealed automatic transmissions found in Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and many other models, is frequently described as a lifetime fill requiring no service. Independent transmission specialists will tell you a consistent story. The transmissions that come into their shops with catastrophic failures are overwhelmingly the ones where the fluid was never changed. The ones that run to 200,000 and beyond without transmission trouble are the ones where the fluid was changed every 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Transmission fluid degrades. It accumulates fine metallic particles from normal clutch and gear wear. Its friction modifier additives break down. And unlike engine oil, which at least gets changed periodically, transmission fluid in a lifetime fill vehicle may sit in that transmission for the entire service life of the vehicle. The transmission doesn't fail at 60,000 miles. It fails at 120,000 or 150,000, right after the warranty has long since expired. The same principle applies to engine coolant. Modern Toyota coolant is rated for extremely long service intervals. But coolant doesn't just lose its freeze protection, it loses its corrosion inhibitors. As those inhibitors deplete, the coolant begins to attack the aluminum components it contacts: water pump housings, radiator end tanks, heater cores. Premature water pump failures and radiator leaks on high-mileage Toyotas are frequently traced back to coolant that was left in service too long. Change your transmission fluid every 60,000 to 80,000 miles. Change your coolant every 50,000 miles or 5 years. These are conservative, protective intervals, and neither one appears in your Toyota's standard maintenance schedule. Tip 7. Pay attention to your Toyota's cooling system. Of all the things that can end a Toyota engine's life prematurely, overheating is among the most swift and unforgiving. An engine that has been maintained perfectly for 200,000 miles can suffer catastrophic, irreparable damage in under 20 minutes if the cooling system fails and the driver keeps driving. The warning signs of cooling system trouble are worth knowing cold, no pun intended. A temperature gauge that rises higher than its normal position, even briefly, is a signal that demands immediate attention. Coolant puddles under a parked car, typically a sweet-smelling, brightly colored liquid, indicate a leak that will only get worse. A low coolant warning light is a crisis, not a reminder. Toyota engines, particularly the aluminum block and aluminum head designs used in most modern models, are highly vulnerable to heat damage. Aluminum warps at temperatures that cast iron would survive. A warped cylinder head is a repair that routinely costs $2,000 to $4,000 on its own. A head gasket failure from overheating, which can introduce coolant into the oil, creating a milky contamination that damages bearings and seals throughout the engine, can total a vehicle that might otherwise have had years of service life remaining. Proactive cooling system maintenance means flushing and replacing coolant on a regular schedule, inspecting hoses and clamps for signs of deterioration, and having the cooling system pressure tested every few years to identify leaks before they become failures. A cooling system service costs a fraction of what it protects against. It is one of the most cost-effective maintenance investments a Toyota owner can make. Tip 8. If you own a Toyota hybrid, this one is non-negotiable. This tip is specifically for owners of Toyota and Lexus hybrid vehicles: the Prius, the Camry hybrid, the RAV4 hybrid, the Highlander hybrid, the Lexus ES hybrid, and any other model with Toyota's hybrid drive system. There is a filter in your vehicle that protects the cooling system for your high-voltage hybrid battery pack. Its job is to prevent dust, pet hair, debris, and small particles from clogging the cooling intake and reducing airflow across the battery. This filter is not listed as a scheduled maintenance item in Toyota's owner's manual. Most Toyota dealers do not mention it at routine service visits. The majority of hybrid owners have never heard of it. When this filter becomes clogged, and it will because it is a filter and filters collect debris, the battery cooling system loses efficiency. The battery runs hotter than it should. Heat is the primary enemy of lithium and nickel metal hydride battery chemistry. Over time, elevated operating temperatures degrade the battery cells and reduce capacity. Eventually, this leads to reduced fuel economy, reduced electric range, and ultimately, battery failure. A hybrid battery replacement on a Toyota or Lexus can run from $3,000 to $8,000 depending on the model. The filter itself can typically be accessed from under the rear seat or from a panel in the cargo area, depending on your specific model. It can be removed, cleaned with compressed air or a vacuum, and reinstalled in under 10 minutes. It costs nothing but a few minutes of your time. Do this every 30,000 miles. Look up the specific location for your model. A quick search for your year, make, and model, plus high voltage battery filter, will show you exactly where it is and how to access it. This is one of the easiest and most impactful maintenance tasks a hybrid owner can perform. Tip 9. Choose your repair shop as carefully as you choose your doctor. One of the most consequential decisions a Toyota owner makes has nothing to do with oil or fluids or filters. It's the decision about who works on the car. There is a widespread assumption that dealership service is inherently more trustworthy or more competent than independent shop service. For routine maintenance, this assumption is often both expensive and unnecessary. Dealerships operate with higher overhead, higher labor rates, and a financial incentive to upsell services that may not be necessary. Independent shops that specialize in Toyota and Lexus vehicles, and there are many of them, often have technicians with equal or greater depth of experience on these specific platforms, with lower labor rates and no upsell pressure. The time to find a good, independent Toyota shop is before your car has a problem. Ask Toyota owners in your area who they trust. Check reviews specifically for shops that list Toyota and Lexus as specialties. When you find a candidate, bring the car in for something minor, an oil change, a tire rotation, and observe. How do they communicate? Do they show you what they found? Do they explain what's urgent versus what can wait? The best mechanics in the independent world are proactive communicators. They document what they see. They give you options. They don't pressure you. When you eventually face a significant repair decision, and with any high-mileage vehicle you will, you want to have an established relationship with someone you trust, not be calling strangers in a panic. Building that relationship when your car is healthy is one of the smartest things you can do as an owner. Tip 10. Make decisions with math, not emotion. At some point in the ownership of any high-mileage vehicle, you will face a significant repair estimate. It might be an engine issue, It might be a transmission. It might be a combination of smaller things that adds up to a large total. And in that moment, you will feel a strong emotional pull toward a decision, either to fix it immediately out of loyalty to the car, or to panic and replace it because the number feels too large. Neither emotion is a reliable guide. Here is the formula to use instead. Step 1. Get a written, itemized estimate. Not a verbal ballpark. A written document showing parts costs, labor hours, and labor rate. Then ask, what else does this car need in the next 12 months? Add those expected costs to the repair estimate. This is your total investment number. Step 2. Determine your car's current market value in its present condition. Be honest about its condition. What would a private buyer pay for it today, knowing exactly what's wrong with it? Step 3. Divide your total investment number by 60. This is your monthly cost to keep the car for another 5 years. Step 4. Get a real quote on a replacement vehicle. What is your actual monthly payment on a comparable car, given your down payment, which is the value of your current vehicle? If your repair monthly cost is less than half your replacement payment, keeping the car almost certainly makes financial sense. If it approaches the replacement payment, the calculation is getting close, and other factors, the overall condition of the rest of the car, your tolerance for future repairs, come into play. The final rule: never make this decision on the day you receive the estimate. The initial reaction to a large repair bill is emotional, not rational. Walk away. Give yourself 48 hours. Come back with a clear head, the formula in hand, and make the decision that the numbers support. No legitimate shop will pressure you to decide immediately on a repair of this magnitude. If they do, find a different shop. Toyota gives you one of the best foundations in the automotive world. What you build on that foundation is entirely up to you. The owners who get 300,000, 350,000, even 400,000 miles out of their Toyotas are not lucky. They are not driving some special version of the car that everyone else didn't get. They simply do the right things consistently before problems develop. Oil every 5,000 miles or 6 months. Quality fluid. Proactive attention to the systems that the maintenance schedule ignores. A shop you trust. And the discipline to make repair decisions with math rather than emotion. That is car care logic. If this video was useful, share it with a Toyota owner in your life. Subscribe for more videos that go deeper than the owner's manual. We'll see you in the next one.